The views, ideas, and content of WellSeekers and their guests are their own opinions, and you should always seek additional professional help around any of the issues discussed here on WellSeekers.
Hello and welcome back to WellSeekers. I'm Lucia, and we are wrapping up our 4-part series on manifestation. If you're just joining us for this episode, you don't know actually that we've been on a ride through the different forms and definitions and meanings of manifestation, what it is, what it isn't, the good, the not as great concepts from it. But most importantly, what I've learned to date is there's lots of different ways to look at manifestation. There's lots of different definitions for manifestation. And there's a lot of those principles and foundation and definitions that can be really useful when looked at it from a specific and defined perspective, like some of our guests have. Our guest today is going to be talking about manifestation and astrology and how the two come together. So a more spiritual look at what manifesting is and some of the tools we can use, because the show is all about tools. She's also going to be sharing, because we usually have people share their personal stories here at WellSeekers. She's also going to be sharing a bit about her own personal story using manifestation and how it relates to astrology. Her name is Jen Thompson. She's an astrologist. She lives in Costa Rica and in New Hampshire, which is how I met her, because New Hampshire is my home state. And anyone from New Hampshire, shout out, because it's just got such a special place in my heart and always will. But Jen's going to come on and talk about her personal experience with manifestation, how it relates spiritually, how it relates to astrology, how we can use some of the concepts she knows as an astrologer to help with our own definition and application of manifestation. Lots to talk about here. So we will be right back with Jen Thompson here on WellSeekers.
You're listening to WellSeekers, a show where the journey is just as important as the destination.
Hello and welcome back. We are so excited to welcome our next guest, Jen Thompson. Jen, I'm going to let you introduce yourself because you have many titles. She's a dear, dear friend of mine. She is also an astrologist. And Jen, what else could you add to your title?
Well, I'm an astrologer and I do massage, bodywork, Reiki Master, Craniosacral Therapist down here in Playa Semra, Costa Rica.
One of the reasons that I think Jen adds a different dimension to the show is just her experience. We are an international show, and a lot of our guests actually are international. This is our first time with someone from Costa Rica, Jen. So welcome.
Thank you. Hopefully the electricity doesn't go out.
Part of the fun of living in Costa Rica.
Yeah, those are the little small inconveniences that are kind of fun though too.
So we've been talking to a lot of people. We were chatting before. Jen asked me what other people have talked about, and because manifesting is such an interesting topic, and when you say it, I think you're going to get 5 different definitions, which is what I've learned on this journey. So I'm just curious, Jen, what does manifesting mean to you when I say the word manifesting?
Well, I pause and stop when I hear the word manifesting, honestly, because it means so many different things. When I think of manifesting, I think of the movie The Secret, and about the law of attraction and the use of the law of attraction to bring your desires into reality, basically through the process of visualization and intention setting and those types of things. And so that's what comes to my mind. But I feel that I have a different sort of take on it than what The Secret talks about, or what I hear like the community around me talking about, because honestly down here it's a super buzzword. I'm in a place where it's sort of like a little energy vortex, and tons of people from around the world come and share their points of view on everything. And so I've heard a lot about all different types of ideas on manifestation and stuff. And so I guess to me personally, it's tuning into a deep force that really does exist in the universe. I do believe that there is a place of deep intention setting that you can get to that really does recreate your reality out and around you But it's a very deep and internal process. And I think that you can tune into it and use it for a real, just like astrology. It's probably a blend of many different energies and things. You can use it positively and constructively, or you can use it negatively and destructively. And I see people using it in every which way, and it's very interesting. So I love the topic. Yeah, so I believe that it's something, it's a force you can tune into, and it really is the utilizing the power of intention and the mind to help recreate your reality.
Really interesting. So if someone's, I'm just going to play sort of the opposite side because I've asked people this question. If
Okay.
someone then, in the way that you're describing it, say I want to, create a new, you know, job pathway for myself, how would manifesting come into play in your interpretation?
Okay, this is how I see it playing out in the world, and then this is how I would do it. I see people writing down mantras, making like maybe Pinterest sites and things, telling themselves over and over again that unexpected, awesome events are about to occur. I'm about to get wealthy, feeling gratitude for what you have and already, and then visualizing what it is that you truly want. But this is where I feel like the world of manifestation sometimes gets into tricky territory, and I've really thought about it a lot lately because I had a very personal, rough experience around manifestation with a quote manifestation life coach, which is really interesting. So I think a lot of times people really just bring it into the mental level and just on the mind, and I really believe that it you can manifest on the mental level, but it's not necessarily what you want to manifest all the time. So it kind of goes down to what your deep values are and what you believe in. Because I think in the end of the day, you're going to end up manifesting, whether you like it or not, more things that you believe in. And so if you want to really manifest what you truly want, then you really need to get in touch with what you truly want, which means that you have to really get in touch with your heart and your soul as well, and what your whole being wants, as opposed to just your mind and what you think that you want, and so that's like, so that's where it's tricky, where it's not just about mantras and setting intentions, but you actually have to do a lot of work on yourself to ask yourself, what is it that I'm manifesting? Why am I manifesting it? And who am I going to impact by manifesting it? And is it really truly for my greatest and highest good? And is it truly for the greatest and highest good of others? Which leads me into like what happened with this manifestation life coach, which is basically that we went into starting an endeavor together. I actually didn't realize that she was a manifestation life coach. I always knew that she kind of felt a little blocked to me, but I just figured that she had some walls up around, I don't know, personal stuff. Just didn't want to ever get too close. But turns out she ended up robbing me and the other people working with the program, and just walking off with our money. And then also doing all these
Wow.
fundraising events in town, doing all these fundraising events in town, acting like she's helping people down here, right? Because people down in Costa Rica are really, really poor. Like they aren't getting the trickle down effect very much from tourist industry here. And so any which way, in the end, she was raising loads of money in the town, and everybody's thinking that she's doing good. Meanwhile, paying the workers slave labor wages, and then taking a whole bunch of money off the top. And then because of the other industry that she's in, she has this matching program where she can equal the amount that she makes. As long as she makes $15,000, she can make another $15,000 of donations from the United States and Canada. And so then robbing the other people from Canada and the United States as well. But in the process, I'd found out that she was a manifestation life coach because I saw that she was really able to levitate money. And so we were actually going to do an exchange for an astrology reading and a session, because I was really curious to hear what she had to say, because I'm really interested in the topic in general, just also as an exploratory thing. And turns out that she's like teaching people to manifest and robbing people blind at the same time. She's also like a yoga teacher, and looking as if she's doing spiritual things. And so she gets people to trust her. And then And then she helps people just dream big and create vision boards and things and believe that they can do anything that they put their mind to, which is not a bad thing to teach people necessarily, but they don't always land on their feet necessarily either. Because I've seen some people that have actually worked with some other ones I know. I actually ran into this other woman recently who gave me like the biggest gift of my life and skipped off to go manifest her dreams and then, landed on her face and broke and wondering what the heck to do with her life now. And then so I think it's like you can create castles in the air, which actually is an interesting concept within astrology. There's a lot of like planets and planetary motions and interactions where you can see that effect and you can see that happening. And actually very lately, where Jupiter has been placed lately, where it's been transiting, is been in that state, and also of revealing all the truths. There's a lot going on right now astrologically, but any which way. So I think it's a balance. It has to be a balance. It has to be grounded. Like what you're manifesting has to be grounded in reality. And what we're going to see in the future, and is that nothing will last if it's not sustainable, and that's exactly what the charts of the sky say. And so it's true with any force that you're trying to call in or utilize coming from the universes or the earth or yourself, is that it has to be grounded in reality. And and what I see here is a lot of not grounded reality dreams that come crashing down. So
if I'm hearing this right, Jen, you're basically saying there's work to be, you can, think thoughts and put it out to the universe, but there's also action required in order for dreams to come true.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. And I like the concept of manifestation. Like, honestly, this was a kind of like really made me sick. What happened in my little community here. But I'm recovering from it. But it's really given me a lot of thought on the idea of manifestation, because there's tons of manifestation life coaches here. Like, it's like, come to Costa Rica and become a manifestation life coach.
Mhm.
It's really a thing. And so I'm really in the midst of it. And to me, I love the idea of getting deeply in touch with what your heart and your soul desires, and bringing that out into the world somehow. I love that. I think that's a beautiful way to go. And I think it's really important. And so I love it. And like I said, it has to be really grounded in your heart and your soul, and also in reality. And what's actually viable, what's fertile soil to actually plant your seeds in.
Do you have an
What does the
example of
world
how
really
you
need?
use manifestation and how it's worked for you?
Yeah, I've used it every day. In fact, my when I was like 13 years old, I had this guy come into my life that changed my life forever. I was on a college tour with my brother, my big brother, and this guy said, you can do anything you want in life. You can make any of your dreams come true. And the best way and the most proven successful way to do that is to write down what it is that you want and read it every day to yourself. And and so this gets me into what I really wanted to talk about, which is like the blending of the what you want with the moment. Because the way to manifest in reality is to come back to right where we are right now. Like, where's our feet? Where's our bums sitting? Where are we? What's around us? Who's around us? How can we affect life in reality? The reason why most people are trying to quote manifest things is oftentimes because they're not happy with where they are right now. And they think that something in the future, something out there, is going to make them feel better in here. And that's never true. So once you get that part out of the way, that work, like you said, or whatever, but it's a hell of a lot of work and it's kind of constant work. Then you can start to get to what it is that what's really in your core, in your soul, and you come into the qualities of it right in your body in the moment. And then you think, what can I do right now that leads me in the direction of what it is that I'm trying to create? So, like for me, partly how I ended up in Costa Rica was I decided when I was about 29, actually during my Saturn return, that I wanted to be surrounded by color, lightness, the ocean. I wanted life to be simple. I wanted to just be able to relax more. I wanted to feel unrestrained by the constraints of society, and I wanted love to emerge. And I hate wearing shoes, I like basic stuff like that. And then somehow I ended up in Costa Rica, and it like answered that. What it was by being in the moment with what it is that I'm trying to create, and trying to create it in the level of the moment, as opposed to making a master plan and then step by step doing it, with a real dry sort of mental way. I think there's a rich organic way, and then it doesn't end up mattering what the heck you manifest, because you're happy in the moment, and that's what you're really looking for anyways, and the whole reason you were doing it anyways. That's where true manifestation to me happens, and true bliss and true fulfillment and happiness is all right now. It's just that we have to go through these silly uh games and stuff with ourselves and processes. And
Jen, I know that you are a healer by nature, right? And a lot of the people we've had on are healers, but you're a healer in a different way than everyone we've talked to, in the sense of you do Reiki and craniosacral therapy and massage and astrology. And I know that one of the things you're really passionate about is using some of these tools in manifestation. So can you talk to us a little bit about how you see the work you do, especially I know we've talked around astrology, how that correlates to manifestation, and how people can use tools that they maybe never even thought of, when it comes to manifestation?
yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And with people, in a way, getting true to your core. With astrology, we're talking about the elements, fire, air, water, and earth. And you can't have one without the other. Like you need the spark of fire. You need passion to make the desire happen, and then you need ideas in wind and air, and connection with spirit, and then you need the water, the healing of water, and the softness of water, and the to be able to emote about things, and then the earth energy to like withstand and persist against obstacles and challenges. So any which way, everybody has a very unique combination of the energies and elements in their chart. What I do in astrology, and I'll just speak for myself, is to help each individual really tune in to where they're uniquely gifted and talented. Also, where we all have our own inner conflicts and challenges, but where that friction actually can create motion and create a spark of creation. So basically, how can we tune into the energies that are underlying our own beings, in order to create the best, brightest vision of who we are? And what I love about astrology, and what I've always loved about it, is that you can kind of unmesh yourself from all your relationships, your jobs, like all the labels that you put on yourself, your mother, whatever, all those things. You demesh yourself from that, and you look at who you are as an individual soul. Every single person is different. There's not two people that are the same. And I always share this, and I'm an identical twin. And that's partly how I got into it, was because I wasn't able to understand exactly, or how to speak or put into words my differences between me and my sister. And we were always the twins, the twins, the twins. And I loved being a twin. Don't get me wrong, it was awesome. But I also kind of wanted to also be Jen Thompson in the world. So astrology changes your life, period. When you get your astrological chart reading done, you begin a huge transformation process on your life. Period. It's just what happens. It naturally happens. I watch all my clients go through it. It's so beautiful and so amazing. And I just love to be a part of it. And then you see the synchronicity between events in your life, and you feel so grateful about who you are. You see yourself really in a different light. And it also enables you to forgive yourself, for things, and where you have hangups and stuff. It's really a really amazing therapeutic process. In fact, my most regular and best clients are like PhD psychologists and social workers and stuff, because it adds a whole rich element into how you can work with yourself
Mm.
without any guilt. or out or anything, and for me too, it's freed me up as a mother to look at my daughter's chart, because I see that there's qualities in her that are just who she is. There's things that is just who she is. And then if I understand how to work with her to help her enhance who she is, then it helps me not take things personally and just keep on what I feel is the best course, in a more objective way, as opposed to getting lost in what your hopes are for your kids and things like that.
Absolutely. Can you give an example of how you've seen like one example either for yourself or someone else, how you've seen like someone trying to work on manifesting and they come to you in astrology and it's helped them?
Yeah, totally. Well,
You can even use yourself.
well, yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody that I've worked with. Like,
You can even use me because Jen's read my chart. So if
well, yeah.
I wanted to manifest, but we've talked about manifesting, changing, pivoting some in my career and some of the things that I'm doing. And if I wanted to use manifestation and astrology, how
Mhm.
would I do that?
I look at your chart and I see where the influences of energy are happening most importantly. And so for you, it's really, really touching in, and owning up to just how incredibly intuitive you are, and how almost psychic you are, and to be able to utilize that vision. And also, it's a time of intense creativity and where you're ready to kind of give birth to something new, and so tuning into that and taking some time every day with yourself to basically go through what it is that you're trying to create and stuff, and to get really in touch with your intuition and your psychic abilities by guessing, guess things. You play with yourself. It makes life more fun, like, guess what the weather's going to be and see if you're right. Guess what somebody is thinking and then ask them, like all kinds of different things. I guess I'm really fortunate because I also read tarot, and so I always get in touch with how on point my intuition is and stuff like that. But playing around with it, and having fun with it. And that's the other thing about manifesting in itself is like, it should be a fun thing and not a super serious thing, I think. And so for instance, I have one woman who has now made like I don't know how many online courses, and is selling them online now because she's trying to live closer to her dream, because she discovered that she's an amazing teacher and that she wants to make money on the side. And she was able to do that, and she understands though that it's a long process. It's a real long process, or it could be, it might be, and things might be hard along the process, and you might feel like quitting at times, but she's going through now trying to promote herself on social media and promote herself live in reality to sell her courses, and it's working. She's sold like 10 now. It's really, really exciting. So watching her get in touch with who she is and what she wants and how she can get more in touch with her dream in a real physical, concrete way. And then another client of mine has taken like huge steps to realizing her dream. She's now traveled the world more and got in touch with more cultures, and it took her a long time to kind of figure out what she wants to do, and now she's well on her way and already receiving clients doing what she wants to do. So I think that's the thing. I think what we're learning right now, what's happening right currently, in the sky, is that all of these things are getting uncovered. Your timing of this show is impeccable because right now we are finding all of these sort of the crooks and the scam artists now are getting uncovered. Only the folks that are trying to manifest things that are in alignment with the overall goals of humanity and sustainability, will actually take root in fertile soil, because we've kind of driven ourselves into environmental disaster. That's really in the chart. You can see that with Uranus and Taurus and where it is, and then Pluto being at the very last degrees, and actually in 2 days now just about to move into Aquarius. It's what all the buzz is in the astrological world now. Right now is Saturn moving into Pisces, and which means that we're all trying to take and manifest our dreams. And but it's a big pruning process because we have to do away with all the dreams that we thought we wanted that we don't want. I mean, even for myself right now, like I'm just in the middle of making a huge change because I took on a whole line of work that I really thought that I wanted and that would be a great addition to my life, and in the end is a huge headache, and I don't want it at all. So we're just realigning what's really in my heart, and that's the energy that's happening for everybody, is we're all getting more in alignment with what our dreams are, but we're getting pruned. So it's tough. We're having dreams get shattered and new dreams be reborn. And with Pluto moving into Aquarius, and we're already starting to feel the effects, but we're really going to feel it in a few days. And it's going to feel really chaotic and crazy. But at the same time, we'll start pruning our own intellect. Aquarius is the sign of the genius. It's the sign of humanitarianism, but it's also can be kind of cold and feelingless. It's an air sign, and sometimes it can be very separate from emotions. And so we're going to be all going through a time of getting real about our thoughts and how they do create reality and how they don't, and how we use our thoughts to create a happy world and how we use our thoughts to create a negative world. Anyhow, so it's really what's happening right now, and right now it's going to feel chaotic and very, very confusing, I think. So the most important thing is for everybody to remember in the world right now is that the world is like a big house of mirrors, and there's so many things getting reflected. Like there's so many things blowing up and happening all at once. And so the main thing is to stay calm and to open up to what your own truth is, and find the tools, whether it's astrology or finding a counselor, or whatever kind of body therapy or meditation or whatever you dig, bike riding, surfing, you know, and use that as a grounding tool and to find what's real and what's reality. And I think right now is a time when we're all returning it, that the power is going to be going away from the institution and organizations and going to be more going towards individuals. And so we're all trying to find our power, and we're all seeing those of us who are paying attention are all seeing the disasters on the horizon, and starting to think like what can we do here. As long as we're thinking along those lines, then we can't really fail. And the whole thing though is to keep it not serious and have fun with it, right? Because life wasn't meant to be too serious, I don't think. And the whole point of the journey is the ride, right? So so to enjoy the moment even more.
Absolutely. Jen, anything else for someone out there manifesting and feeling like I'm doing this wrong, or I'm not good enough, or I'm messing up manifesting? What would you say to them?
Oh, I would say, oh, that's so sweet that you think that you can screw it up. And that's exactly the problem with manifesting, is exactly that. Because in the end, you can't screw anything up. At the end of the day, our thoughts are only in partial control of our reality. And the most important reality that we create with our thoughts is the way that we see ourselves. And so the first thing to do is to see ourselves as awesome no matter what, and and see our goodness no matter what, to stay on your own side, to ask them like what it is that they think that they did wrong, or what it is they manifested that they didn't want, or like to try to figure out what they're broke, why they're broke, or whatever, and to just learn from it and move on, and that's it, and that's all you can do. And that it really is a choice also. Regret is a choice also. Like in the end, you kind of have to choose whether or not you're going to hang on to everything or not. And so it's like a process of forgiveness and letting go, and to me, surrendering. So I'd say, to me, I really am quite spiritual, and I really, really believe in surrendering to the universe and surrendering to your own heart and soul and seeing whatever emerges from there. So I would say it's okay. We all have squirrely little minds, and do a deep meditation and get in touch with your heart and soul again, and feel held and loved in that space. And you'll know what to do next organically from there once you get centered.
Perfect. Jen Thompson, astrologist. And I would just say overall amazing person. If
Oh,
people want to find you, Jen, where can
I
they
love you.
find more about your background in craniosacral therapy, body work, Reiki, and astrology?
Yes, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. I always love to talk to you, Lucia. You are amazing too. And remember what I said about your birth chart too, by the way.
Jen, if people want to find you, we'll put links below, but where's the best place to reach out?
If you go to barefootabundance.com, just click the contact me button and you'll reach me. Or you can just go ahead and call me on WhatsApp, which is also posted right at the top of my website.
Jen Thompson, thanks so much for taking the time, and we'll be right back.
Today's lifestyle demands the best in wireless, and with Pulse Cellular, you have the best options available. Switch to Pulse Cellular for unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data, coast to coast with no contracts, no credit checks, and no overage fees. One line for $65 or 4 lines for just $45 each, including hotspot, Wi-Fi calling, and 50 gigs per line. And for all you travelers, we got you covered in Canada and Mexico. Plus, text and data in over 210 countries worldwide, all with the best phones or bring your own. That's pretty awesome. Get the best user experience on mobile at pulsecellular.com.
Thanks for being part of the Seekerhood. We couldn't do this without you. Now, back to the show.
Thanks again to our guest, Jen Thompson, for being with us and sharing her personal experience, wisdom, and knowledge on astrology and manifestation. And thank you so much to all of our guests. It's been such an eye-opening series on what these concepts mean and how we can use them. And again, just so grateful to everyone for being a part of our podcast and being a part of the WellSeekers family. Before we let you go, and as we head into 2024, so much is going to be changing for us in the new year, and we can't wait to make these announcements and tell you about it. So we are going to be expanding our family in 2024, making some changes, and we are so excited to take you with us on the ride. Everything we do here is all about stories and solutions to help you find and feel better, and to just make life a little bit softer, a little bit more of a resting place, a little bit more knowledge that you may not have had, a little bit more advice from people that you may not have ever known about or ever thought you could talk to hear their words and their wisdom. And we're going to keep passing that on just in a slightly different way. So I think that's enough of a tease that hopefully you'll hang with us and be with us in the new year. We'll also have video, which I'm really excited about as well, that we'll be adding to this. I've gotten I don't know, a lot, more than a handful, maybe 2 handfuls of messages about video. We get it pretty consistently. So we'll be adding video. We're really excited about that as well. And as always, if there's something you want to hear about, a topic you want us to cover, definitely shoot me a message. I will always get back to you. You can email us, DM us, WellSeekers. All of the socials will be on this page, so I won't repeat them for you again. But I love to answer questions and have conversations. It's literally my favorite thing to do. And my favorite way to share space with people is in sharing stories and conversations. It lights me up to hear what you have to say. So definitely reach out and let's talk about it. From all of us here at WellSeekers, we hope you have a phenomenal end of your 2023, regardless of how it started. Know that it can end differently, and 2024 is going to be a powerful year. Can feel it in my bones. It's going to be life-changing for all of us. We are so grateful to have you as part of our family. We hope that you take us with you through this holiday season. If you need words of encouragement, if you need light, if you need some love, we are here. We're just a click away, a message away. You're never alone. You're part of our family. From all of us here at WellSeekers, thank you for taking the time and space to share your lives with us. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of our family. And thank you for letting me be a part of yours. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. We love you. We'll see you soon here on WellSeekers.
How would you like to join the conversation? Email us anytime at hello@wellseekers.com.